There is so much in lawn care that when I first got started, I had zero clue what to expect, and so many things caught me by surprise. Well, today on Budget Lawns, I'm going to tell you about 3 things involving weeds that you don't need to be surprised about. Hey, thanks for coming back and joining me for another episode of Budget Lawns. I appreciate you being here. If you find this helpful, come on now, give me a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. All that stuff does really help out the channel. I know you hear that from a lot of folks, and believe it or not, we're not lying to you. So hook me up. Okay, so first one, when it comes to weeds, if you put down a pre-emergent meaning you put it on your lawn to prevent weeds, don't be surprised if you still get some weeds. Now, it's not going to be 100% guarantee that you're not going to have any weeds if you use a pre-emergent, but it's kind of a numbers game for me. If I put a pre-emergent down and it prevents most of them, I've won. But chances are you're still going to see a weed or two or more in your lawn. There are a lot of things with a pre-emergent that can come into play that might decrease its effectiveness. Maybe some heavy rainfall shortly after applying it to your lawn. Yeah, it needs to be watered in, but too much rain might wash it away and it doesn't let it settle down into the soil, among other things. But I don't want you to think that just because you apply a pre-emergent to your lawn that you are going to be completely weed-free. Not to mention, a lot of the pre-emergents, particularly the one I use, the Spectracide Weed Stop for Lawns Plus Crabgrass Preventer, they prevent a lot of weeds, but there's some that they just don't. The yellow nutsedge, not going to be prevented by that. That's a whole nother story. We'll get into that one as we move further into the 2023 season. But just be prepared to possibly see some weeds even if you put a pre-emergent down. Now, here's the second one. I don't want you to be surprised if you start seeing some weeds in your lawn in the spring a little bit sooner in some places and not in others. And this, again, even if you've got a pre-emergent down, because we try to get our pre-emergent down, when temperatures in the soil for folks are around 50, 55 degrees. For me, I just put it down around the same time of the year for each part of the season. But let's just say you timed out your pre-emergent just right when the soil temperatures are starting to creep up to that 50, 55 degree mark. But there's one area of your lawn that heats up a little bit faster than, say, the interior areas, the center part of your lawn. And that area of your lawn that heats up faster is along your concrete surfaces. Maybe it's your patio, your driveway, your sidewalks. Because in the springtime, as temperatures start to go up and we start getting more sunlight and the days start getting longer, those harder concrete or asphalt, blacktop, whatever you've got surfaces, maybe a paver patio, those start collecting heat a lot faster. And that heat kind of radiates out into those areas closer to them. So where you may, if you are a soil temperature person, where you may take your soil temps more in the middle part of your lawn, might be a good idea to take those temperatures closer to your concrete surfaces, because you may get your pre-emergent down when you thought was on time, but those areas along those sidewalks and driveways heat up a lot faster. So you might start seeing some weeds pop up there first, especially when it comes to the crabgrass, because it really needs warmer temperatures in the soil and warmer temperatures in general for the crabgrass to start popping up. But it always happens, at least for me in the past, closer to my sidewalk and driveway before it does anywhere else. So don't be surprised if you see the warmer season weeds, particularly crabgrass, around your concrete spots and not really anywhere else. All right, that's 2. How about 3? Third one, if you got new sod, say you're starting this lawn season off with a brand new lawn, just like I did last year. New house, new lawn, Bermuda grass, Tipway 419. That's what I started with for the 2022 season. Don't be surprised if, as things start warming up, let's say that sod was laid dormant like mine was here at the new house. Don't be surprised if things start warming up in the spring and that Bermuda grass is still staying dormant, but you're starting to see other green things creeping up out of it. Just because you got new sod in a new lawn doesn't mean it's going to be weed-free from the get-go. Trust me, I've done it twice now with a new house. Both times, weeds out of control in a brand new sodded lawn. So don't be surprised if, as it starts heating up, we're getting closer to the new season, you start maybe seeing some poa annua, maybe you see some dandelions, maybe you see a whole host of other cool season weeds in your dormant Bermuda grass sodded lawn, because odds are you're going to have some popping up. But that's okay, because good news is once things heat up, especially if you're in a hotter area in the summer like I am, all those cool season weeds just get scorched by the heat. And regular mowing, twice a week mowing, sometimes 3 if you're real gung-ho. Couple that heat with regular mowing and all those cool season weeds just went away for me last season. I'm telling you, my new sodded lawn looked like a complete nightmare early in the spring and then coming out of dormancy, but just doing the cultural practices right, mowing a lot, watering properly 1 inch a week, fertilizing regularly. Guess what? It takes care of a lot of that for you. Now, the one thing you didn't hear me mention when I talked about those cultural practices, my fourth one that I always talk about is weed control. Now, on a newly sodded lawn, your weed control consists of just your fingers. At least for me it does for that first season. No post-emergent on a newly sodded lawn. I don't like to anyway. Some people will tell you it's okay. I don't want to put any undue stress on that new turf and those not so strong roots right away. So I don't use a post-emergent on a new lawn, and I certainly don't use a pre-emergent to prevent weeds on a new lawn, because if you do that, it will even hurt that new sod from really rooting firmly and strongly. Now, I like to do that for the first 12 months. Some people do it much sooner than that, but I am in no rush in my lawn. I'm here for the ride, the journey, the ups, the downs, not perfection. So if you ask me, I enjoy the process. All right, my friends, that's going to do it for this edition of Budget Lawns. Just remember, don't be surprised if you see weeds after applying a pre-emergent. Along that same line, if you see weeds around your hard concrete surfaces before you do anywhere else, because those heat up a lot faster than the rest of your lawn. And 3, you got a new sodded lawn, doesn't mean you're starting out with perfection. You're probably going to see some weeds pop up in it as well. You know, here on Budget Lawns, I try to give you the information that if you're a regular homeowner like me, it just makes sense. I hope this made sense to you, and I hope to see you next time.